kids are fine. She's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, yeah. Shit! No! We will try and get through this one quickly because I don't know that there would be any reason to talk about this movie if not for maybe Robert Patrick being in it.
Yeah.
All right, so Mexico City. It's hard to know when you watch these movies whether it's going to be an actual good film or a bad film. I don't think this is a good film.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
And I think there are some parts of it that actually get kind of hilariously bad, but very few and far between. Most of the movie is just boring.
AF.
And so wants to be something interesting and flavored. Flavored with culture.
People always use that term in association with movies about brown people.
Well, I just mean that the film has a look that is very indicative of a lot of movies that are based in Latin countries. There's a look and a sound that all those films tend to have.
There's a color grade.
Yeah, a lot of them are trying to imitate that City of God look and feel. This would be that if not for everything. It starts off with this vintage documentary about Mexico City.
Old black and white tourist film or something.
It's a stimulating place. Perfect climate, beautiful art and architecture.
And I guess that sets the stage for sort of the golden era of what Mexico City used to be and set that up as a contrast.
Before communism.
Was it communist?
Frida Kahlo was a communist.
That's true, but that's more sort of to do with the struggles against, I suppose, the colonial... surely there's been a lot of colonial history in Mexico.
It wouldn't be what it is today without it.
It cuts from that vintage doco to
the second unit stuff.
A bunch of day-to-day on-location shots of
the
Mexico
people
City.
of Mexico City living their lives.
Yeah, impoverished but in good spirits.
Everything's colorful.
There's 3 different sequences intercut. There's a wealthy older guy who is getting ready for his day, having his
tea from a fancy tea set.
We have a bald guy smoking a cigarette at a street corner. Oh, I thought he was making that noise. And a poor woman holding a baby wrapped in cloth. She kind of looks like kind of a cliche look for a poor woman with a child. Finally, we have a guy who's ferociously driving a truck through the streets to try and get to his deadline, some delivery or pickup that he's doing. So the old guy gets into a car and his driver takes off. He turns a corner and there's this accident.
We think
it's a baby, but you've never seen it, so you know it's going to be a fake baby.
Once the truck misses the government man, we think, oh shit, the baby.
Of course, the baby turns out to be a doll. So the whole thing is a staged kidnapping just to grab the old guy. Cut to Mitch.
"12 years later.
It's the doll all grown up.
She looks like a Smashing Pumpkins fan.
Mitch is in a taxi next to her brother, Sam. He's kind of strangely dressed. He's wearing this red cap, which seems to just be there as a plot device for later.
Like the red coat in Schindler's List.
Yeah, the red hat in Mexico City. I mean, it does make you a target. Nobody else wears anything like that.
I love how she's like, whatever.
Don't worry about him, he's crazy.
Day and night and day. You just call Pedro.
I love when you can see the shadow of the camera car.
Yeah, that's my fave.
So the taxi driver is a guy called Pedro. He's actually pestering them about the fact that they don't speak Spanish. He's asking them if they habla español.
Habla español?
Yeah, poquito. Yo estudio en mi escuela.
So he's taken her to Mexico City because he wants to cheer her up because of a recent trauma in her life. She doesn't seem to want to be there at all.
It's not clear to me why they're there.
He wants to take photos of the slums, and she's just like, can I just go back to the hotel, please?
I need to get out of here.
Oh.
Do you remember the day of the accident, Sam?
Flashback.
I think about that day.
I held my kid upside down too long and he died.
The blood went to his head and he just died. And we have a flashback to when she was at an office party.
It's like a birthday party.
I think it's a birthday party, yeah. And she gets a call from her husband.
Hello.
What is going on?
He's like, I can't be fucked picking up the kids, can you? And she's like, ugh, can't you? Because it was your turn. And he's like, no. And she's like, fine.
So she goes to pick up the kids, and on her way back, she passes by her husband having an affair.
This is my picture. Look at it.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey, look, it's Daddy.
And so, because she's not keeping her eyes on the road, she gets into an accident. And at first, the kids are okay.
They just spin out a little bit. It's just the front of the car, like it's not a big deal.
The kids are fine. She's fine. Everything's fine. But then... Oh, shit! No!
He should have had time to stop.
Yeah, really.
Smashed by a semi-truck.
Giant semi-truck just drives straight through and kills the 2 children, but somehow the mother is okay. She does say that she has tubes through her for months.
She was fucked up.
Tubes running in and out of me.
I don't know. You look all right now.
No, she doesn't. She looks like she's been intubated with emo.
And apparently the husband was really upset with her because
when she woke up, he was like, fuck you, you killed our kids.
Well, he said, have you been drinking?
Because she'd been at whatever the party was, and she'd probably had some alcohol.
And as a result of that, she doesn't really want to be in Mexico City, but Sam does.
So now you know.
It would suck for him if he just really wanted to find a taco truck in this moment.
Sorry, I was thinking about Mexican food. What were you saying? Something about kids.
Well, what about them carnitas?
Do you want churros?
Would you like churros with that?
She goes back to the hotel, and Sam goes out to take more photos at night. She wakes up the next morning, and Sam's gone. She still has the drawing.
Like, how would the drawing survive all of that? The crash?
Yeah, kids didn't survive, but the drawing did. And she goes to talk to the hotel staff, and the hotel staff are extremely unhelpful.
Miss Cobb, I share your concern, but there are many guests in this hotel. We were supposed to catch a plane an hour ago. There's no way he would not be here. He will show up. I promise.
Your brother will show up. He'll just show up. Don't worry about it.
Chill.
Yeah. She's like, we can call the police. And she's like, this is Mexico City.
But the police. Miss Cobb, this is not America. Comprende?
Well, you know what? I'm going to give this hotel a very low score.
A bad review on Yelp.
Was not good. Food tasted bad. Lost brother. Actually, they tell her to go to the embassy.
Then you go to your embassy and they will help you.
And she does, and she meets a guy called Ambassador Mills. That's Robert Patrick.
Buenos dias.
Good morning, Mr. Ambassador.
Robert Patrick's been in quite a few things, and I do think he's got quite a good screen presence. Obviously, most famously, he's in Terminator 2 as the T-1000.
I'm Robert Patrick. In Terminator 2, I play the T-1000 prototype Terminator, the future's most fearsome machine.
I remember he's in The Faculty.
Striptease. Die Hard 2, Wayne's World. He plays Terminator in Wayne's World, apparently.
Yeah, he shows up as the T-1000 in Wayne's World.
Have you seen this boy?
Last Action Hero.
Last Action Hero.
As the T-1000.
See, he cameoed as the T-1000 in so many things.
He's a working actor.
Working man. But it's not like he has much to do here. He sits and drinks tea and is extremely aloof and just doesn't really care about her. He says weird things like, this is a big space and a small space.
He's not in the United States. He's still here.
Here's a very small space and a very large space.
What the fuck?
What the fuck did that mean?
Would have heard from him by now.
How about we just sit and drink tea and don't find him? Is that Earl Grey? Lovely. I'm sorry, who are you?
Yeah, he's annoying. He
doesn't seem to give a shit. And the cop that sits next to her is just accusing her of being some sort of drug trafficker or something.
Did your brother do drugs?
My God, we are tourists. Here for one night, period.
If you would just admit.
Admit what?
That you were doing drugs.
She's like, your brother does drugs, doesn't he? If he's gone and he did drugs, it's not our problem. She runs into Pedro, who's the taxi driver from the day before.
Wherever you want to go, Pedro will take you day and night and day.
Oh yeah, he gave her a sticky note. He did the classic, don't call the cab company, call me.
Ah, dodgy guy.
That's a classic
undercutting
move.
the union.
Well, undercutting the cab company at least.
Yeah. So he takes her around to all these bars to talk to various bartenders, and they all say no. And they meet one guy who tells them that Sam was being chased for his camera. Someone wanted his camera. So they go up these like Aztec steps to go up to the top of a mountain. And they run into this gypsy lady.
Espíritu, nos están viendo, puede caer en nosotros la maldición.
What does she say?
She's a crazy old gypsy.
Váyanse, váyanse.
Don't cut your hair like this. It looks stupid.
You look fucking stupid.
When the spirits are telling you your haircut's bad, that's not good.
Yeah, it's time for a change.
Disculpen la molestia, carnalitos.
Did you molest someone?
Yeah, I heard that. Molestia?
Disculpen la molestia, carnalitos.
How many people you molested today? How you doing?
He's like, I don't know, 12.
So they run into this guy who says he has a daughter sleeping upstairs, so you guys have got to be quiet. And he tries to take their money and push them out the door without giving them any information.
Now, get out.
Wait a minute, no! We had a deal. You are supposed to tell me what you saw.
We have a deal? Sorry, I don't remember.
So then he pushes Mitch down on the couch and basically implies he's going to assault her. And she says, I'm not afraid of getting killed or getting raped.
You're gonna kill me? You're gonna rape me first and then kill me?
That's oddly specific.
So he says, all right, I'll give you all the information. And the story is that Sam came into his gang's cantina, La Cantina Especial, and they didn't like that he was in there.
There was no doubt that we will rob him. Take his camera.
Sam felt threatened, ran into the bathroom, and then just tried to escape. And they ended up catching him in the back alley and beating him up. But he says they didn't kill him because this guy showed up in a suit who looks like Michael Buble. So he hands them Sam's red cap and camera as proof that the story is true. So she goes off to get the photos developed. And then she has a dream of Sam coming home at night.
Sam?
And instead, it's actually just a guy who walks up and punches her in the head. Whoa! Oh my god.
That's rough.
That's bad. Her face should be like swollen. I bet it's going to look really clean and pretty once she just washes it. Just a little bit in the head there. Okay.
Hate it when that happens. Just a little cut on her forehead.
I still look fine. Haven't damaged the goods. If you're bleeding that much from your head, you probably
It's serious.
I would go to the doctor.
Instead, she's just like, they didn't even touch my Palm Pilot or my CD player.
Yeah.
Why would somebody break into my room and not steal my Palm Pilot or my CD player? I mean, what the hell is going on?
Palm Pilot. Your Palm Pilot and your CD player.
3 rolls of film. What the hell's that about?
She keeps calling the embassy. This guy's like, oh,
I don't give a fuck about your brother.
can we block this call?
Well, why would they want that film?
She thinks they were looking for Sam's old photos, and she says the new photos are being developed. So the ambassador tells her not to talk on the phone because people will be tapping her phone.
Get off the phone. It's probably tapped. Don't come here. It's watch. Call me in 2 hours.
I have no idea at this point why she's so special, or Sam, or any of these people.
Once you have the film and they have you, one of you is expendable.
But she gets the photos developed, and on her way out, she's followed down the street by a fat guy in a wig. What a wig that guy's wearing, huh?
Disguise.
Yeah. Who she manages to lose in a market stall.
Oh, shit. Oh, marketplace run. I bet she's going to run into a Day of the Dead parade on a main
she will.
street.
She'll put on a skull mask.
Yeah.
They both have the same haircut.
They do. They go to the same wig maker.
Yeah. What? Why did that guy...
Kommst du mit?
Voy a dar 1,000 pesos a quien me diga dónde está la gringa.
There's a bunch of children that are being held at gunpoint by this guy. It seems like he's wearing a wig simply so that his wig can fall off when she smacks him over the head. So she meets up with Robert Patrick. They go to some weird, dodgy-looking safe house area.
That's it.
Cantina Especial.
How did he know to turn that sideways before he revealed the next photograph? It's almost like he was doing multiple takes.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Being chased by Mexicans.
Selfie.
I just got mugged. Sam was like taking photos sequentially and telling this story through his images.
Yeah, he was photographing every step of his night.
So they sit and watch it like some animation.
This is like girl with a dragon tattoo level shit.
Do you know who that is?
Robert Patrick recognizes the guy in the photos who we saw at the beginning, the old guy. Turns out he is the president's doctor, and he was kidnapped and eventually killed behind the Cantina Especial.
Cantina Especial.
Sam got a photo of Michael Buble shooting the doctor and then turning around and pointing his gun at him, which is what made him run back out into the cantina.
Yeah, and the Cantina boys were like, let's get him.
The Cantina boys weren't going to put up with that. That's the guy who's in our cantina.
Don't the people that run the cantina want to make more money? Wouldn't they want to?
I don't understand what the point of having a cantina is, and someone comes in and goes, give me some beers, and they're like, you can't order.
This is our
you think you can just come in
cantina.
here and buy stuff and drink it in our cantina? This is just a place where we show up.
Why the president's doctor?
Embarrass the president. How can the party be tough on crime if the president's own doctor's killed?
Just when they thought they were safe, Michael Buble shows up and attacks their safe house.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Dad, you scared the crap out of me.
Hey, guys. Pedro gets knocked out by 2 cops that show up or something. Someone shows up and knocks him out on his dashboard. Robert Patrick gets Mitch to hide in the bathroom while he stands there and waits for Michael Buble. Shoots Robert Patrick, and Robert Patrick seems to also shoot Michael Buble, so they kill each other.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
So that's clean.
Sorted, taken care of.
Yeah, Mitch runs to a church and then just sits and prays in front of Jesus. A priest shows up the next morning to wake her up, and she kisses him, I think, goodbye, and then leaves with Pedro. She gets into Pedro's taxi and they say, let's just drive.
Pedro's made a full recovery.
Yeah, Pedro's fine. He got smashed out on his dashboard, but he's all right now.
You've still got to have faith in the goodness of people, Mitch.
Whoa, the color timing changed there. Did you see that?
That's because they passed from Mexico into America.
They went from yellow Mexico to bright and
Green El
colorful
Paso
to properly white balanced America.
We never did get those carnitas.
No. Still waiting for those churros. They decide to drive to the border, and on the way they get stopped by a cop who looks like he escaped from the Village People or something. He has a very male stripper look. Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, his cop uniform looks like it comes from a costume store.
He's got an extremely precise jawline.
He does. He holds him at gunpoint. Turns out he's working for the baddies.
The Mexicans, because the Mexicans are always the baddies.
Yeah, the Mexico City Baddie Network.
Where are the photographs?
She goes over and grabs the photos from underneath the very loose taxi sign on top of the car, and she hands that over to him. And as he's going through the photos, he realizes,
I've been set up.
yeah, these are postcards. These are not photos.
Surprise!
So she shoots him in the bladder or something, in the pancreas.
In the spleen, in the liver.
And then, just to make sure that he will slowly die, she shoots
the police radio and the tire.
She gets to the Mexico border and Pedro says, I will go no more.
You know American immigration, they will never let me through.
Pedro, I don't feel comfortable leaving you here.
My family is in La Ciudad.
He says, this is where I leave you, and he just lights up a cigarette and tells her to go. Get back to America. Go. Live your life.
Live your life.
Go, live your life.
And when she gets to the border, this stock alarm sound plays.
It's like a nuclear meltdown.
For reasons that I can't quite figure out, both the Mexican and American authorities draw guns
on each other.
Now, I understand the Americans not wanting her to pass into their country, but
no, they're trying to have a standoff with the Mexicans. They're like, don't you shoot our American.
But why do the Mexicans give a shit that she's leaving?
Because she shot a police officer.
All right. The American officer smashes her face on the ground and says, you're under arrest for the murder of a cop. And
yeah.
She goes, it's not my fault. You'll find the photos that are the proof of my missing brother somewhere. Of course, we cut to the church where the priest shows the photos to I thought they were corrupt authorities, but apparently now that's all good, and the photos of Michael Buble assassinating people will vindicate her.
I'd love it if they were just like, so what?
Yeah, that man's a national treasure. He has to be on stage in 5 minutes. We can't be arresting him. So I guess that solves everything. So we just cut to 5 years later, and she's on the beach with her nephew.
Yeah, her brother's son.
Okay, strike a pose. Good.
She's taking photos of him. So the kid wants to start taking photos like his dad.
Well, just don't ever go to Mexico City.
Yeah, well, can I suggest you don't take photos of hitmen?
Hey, Aunt Mitch, can I take your picture?
Sure.
What?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, and this is great music.
I really wish that this ended with someone saying, forget it, Mitch, it's Mexico City.
Yeah.
Forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown.
Forget it, Jake. It's Cloud Town.
Forget it, Nicholas. It's Sanford.
That line needed to be in there for sure.
Because she is ultimately powerless against the corruption and...
Yeah, she's ineffectual, went to Mexico, lost my brother, and all I got was a stupid nephew. Anyway, her nephew points the camera and takes a photo of her. I guess this photo is the image of her now better off. She's forgotten her own kids.
She believes in Jesus again.
She's lost her brother. She has no children, and he has no father. So please come to Mexico City.
Viva Mexico.
Well, that's Mexico.
The cinematography was decent, but I don't like the way that the characters were lit. It's nice to put a little bit of a glint in the eyes. Throughout most of the movie, everyone looks completely dead-eyed.
It's just a flat movie. I suppose the only other interesting thing of note is that...
The second unit camera operator?
Yeah, is Wally Pfister.
Wally Pfister.
Where?
Second unit camera
Wally
operator.
Pfister!
Who's that?
That's Christopher Nolan's DP.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That man shot The Dark Knight, just so you understand.
Wow.
I think you picked up on it just because you thought Pfister was a funny name.
No, I'd like the audience to believe that I saw that name.
No, I won't put that in.
No, I just thought Wally Pfister was a funny name.
It is a funny name. He's part of the second unit, so that means he went around and got all the location shots of like poor elderly Mexicans.
Yeah, that stuff looked good.
The look of the movie is probably the best thing about it.
100%.
It does feel like you're in Mexico, probably because you actually are. It's very indicative of the kinds of films that were coming out in the 2000s with, I don't know, Latin exoticism.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. Westerners were looking outward rather than inward at that time. And so I feel like there was maybe a bit of a lull in terms of hating on foreigners.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a push in the 2000s to show the poorer aspects of other cultures. I think movies like Slumdog Millionaire fit into that.
100%.
This kind of Western eye towards the hearts of gold that live in the more impoverished areas of the world. I guess it's an anti-racism push, but also it's funded a lot by tourism dollars and things like that.
Maybe. I just really feel like they might have the appearance of wanting to shed light on the plight of people in developing nations, but I think in the case of Slumdog Millionaire, it really used those people more than it helped them.
The boisterous 10-year-old is one of the child stars of Slumdog Millionaire, a film nominated for 10 Oscars this year.
The only thing that happened was that I became well known because of my son. That's it. Nothing else changed. My kid became a hero and I'm living like a zero. This is my shack.
The main drive of these movies is always people trying to get out of those cities. So there isn't really much of an eye towards the people that are trying to improve those places or what might have brought a place like that down to an economic level where you might call it impoverished. And I don't think that this movie really does anything to endear people to Mexico City. It's two tourists that are decimated, one literally, on a simple trip to Mexico City where they're not really doing anything except taking some photos. And then in the end, she drives to the border with Pedro and says, come to America. And he just goes, I gotta stay here, unfortunately.
He drives her all the way to the US border and we don't even see her pay him.
No, she's like, I'm not going to pay you for you. He should have. I
Thanks,
would love
Pedro.
a whole movie that aims to be a human drama. The whole thing is a ruse,
I'm gonna charge this
just
bitch.
to crank the taxi meter as far as possible.
Yeah.
She's like, goodbye, Pedro, and he goes, yeah, that's
4 million pesos.
that's the one change I would add. Pedro's a bastard, and then I think this movie would be 10 out of 10.